with negotiations getting ready to start today for players as far as becoming unrestricted free agents on Wednesday, I want us to take a look at the Buffalo Bills cap space. Where are we going to spend our money, and what new toys will we get come Wednesday, March 13th? Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a special edition of Believers Talk where we talk about the cap space for the Buffalo Bills entering the free agency period. Today, March 11th at 4 p.m., Buffalo Bills can start talking contract negotiations with some free agents, and we might even see some negotiations and some contracts in principle be signed up until March 13th, the start of the new league year. Before we do that, however, thank you for joining my Believers Talk again. My name is Joe. Welcome to Believers Talk, where we cover all Buffalo sports news. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as we get ready for the free agency period, as we get ready for the NFL draft. There's so much going on, and we'll have you covered right here on Believers Talk. So hit that subscribe button. Not only do we cover the Buffalo Bills, bam, we cover the Buffalo Sabres, we cover the Buffalo Bulls. March Madness right around the corner. Conference tournaments starting this week. And then next Sunday, of course, is Selection Sunday. So again, you want to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment, and I'll happily get back to you. Maybe there's something I don't cover in this video, but we're here to talk about the salary cap situation for the Buffalo Bills. Where do we sit at salary cap? What can we do in free agency? Who can we get? So I want to start this video off by talking about some of the Buffalo Bills needs, right? What do the Buffalo Bills need? And guys, it's a long list. We know it's a long list. If you're a Bills fan, you know it's a long list. So let's talk about the offseason needs for the Buffalo Bills, where we can look in free agency. And maybe if we don't look there in free agency, we know where we're going to look in the NFL draft. So first and foremost, look on the offensive side of the ball. We need to get weapons for Josh Allen, right? We're talking wide receiver, we're talking tight end, we're talking a new, maybe younger running back. Get some weapons for Josh Allen to throw the ball to hand the ball off to in the backfield, maybe to block a little bit better at that tight end spot for him. And speaking of blocking on that offense, we need everything on the offensive line. You know, you might be sold on Dion Dawkins, you might not be sold on Dion Dawkins, but it looks like he's going to be here for this year at least. But you're talking about the left tackle position, you're talking about both guard positions, and you're talking about the center position. Who is going to cover those positions for the Buffalo Bills this season? Is it someone that's going to show up in free agency that we're going to bring? You know, we all know we like Matt Paradis from previously of Denver, but we got Matt Morris, I believe his name is, from Kansas City. There's a bunch of names out there that we could potentially get on that offensive line to make it a little bit better. Then we go over to the defensive side of the ball. We need possibly another cornerback, right? We know about Trey White. We love Trey White. Who is that number 2 guy? Who is that slot corner? Do we have him already on our team? We love Levi Wallace. We love Taron Johnson, so I forgot his name for a second. You know, there are a couple guys who were in the rotation last year. Are they going to step up this year, or are we going to look somewhere else for that position? We're talking about defensive tackle. Kyle Williams, gone. You're not going to replace leadership, but we need to be able to replace him as far as durability and be able to rotate at that position. We know Harrison Phillips will take a big part of that, but we still need depth there. And then you're looking at defensive end, maybe another pass rusher. Our pass rush was a little weak, minus Jerry Hughes, of course, last season. Can we improve on that? So those are the Buffalo Bills needs, a wide range of needs for the Buffalo Bills, right? So let's talk about the cap space. How much cap space does the Buffalo Bills have? Well, before we go into that, I want to say the base salary cap for the NFL this season was $188,200,000. So that's what we're looking at for every team across the board. That's your salary cap, right? So that's your base salary cap. Currently, the Buffalo Bills sit in third in salary cap space with $75,304,312. So that's, you know, these are all the estimates. I get my information from SpotTrack. I'll put a link down in the description below, so you guys can check it out too if you want. But that's where I get my numbers from. These are all estimations, of course. Now, I say we're third in cap space right now. The team with the most cap space is the Indianapolis Colts, okay? So they can outbid everybody if they want someone, right? If they want someone, they can go get them, right? And the second team, the second team to me is a little more worrisome than the first team. It's the New York Jets. Not only are they in our division, a lot of the needs that they have fit exactly the same mold that the Bills do, okay? So if it's a fight for best wide receiver, let's say, well, right now the Jets have that edge, right? Now, if they pay the top wide receiver more money, then obviously they get a little less cap space than we do, and then we can maybe offer the next guy some more money. So, you know, it all works out in the end, sort of, but at the same time, at the current moment, they have more cap space than we do. Now, in the preseason, you want to have 90 players signed, right? Currently, the Buffalo Bills have 56. And by preseason, you're allowed to have up to 90 players signed. It's the preseason, so why wouldn't you have all 90 players, right? So you're looking at a 90-player roster for the start of the preseason. So, and you're looking at $73,334,877 million that you can spend. All right, so that's what we're looking at here as far as cap space. Currently on the Buffalo Bills salary cap, the guy who's getting the biggest salary, Star Lotulelei, is getting $12 million this season. Okay, it's not that bad. All right, for us to have our guy to make $12 million. Again, we don't have a quarterback that we have to pay. Josh Allen, hopefully our guy, hopefully we'll be paying him soon. But Josh Allen's still under his rookie contract for a few more years. So luckily we do not have to pay him all kinds of money. But we're hoping that we do actually, because guess what that means? That means he's worth that kind of money and he's going to stay with Buffalo, hopefully long term. When you look at the dead money situation, last year we were all talking about the dead money situation, right? What the dead money situation is that's basically money that you're paying out to players that are no longer on your team, right? So last year, for example, Marcel Darius was making a lot of money from the Buffalo Bills, even though he was playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We traded him. Kelvin Benjamin, another name that we were still paying him after we traded him. Things like that. So in 2018, we had the most dead cap money spent. Over $68 million the Buffalo Bills were spending on dead cap money. And last year, let's say last year the cap was $185 million. It was somewhere around there. 68 million of that, of the Buffalo Bills dollars, were going to players who are now playing on other teams or retired or, you know, whatever have you, released. It doesn't matter. So $68 million. That's like a third, or maybe a little less than a third, of what was the base salary last year was going to players that weren't on the Buffalo Bills. What is it in 2019? $7 million. $7.5 million in 2019 spent on dead cap money. You talk about Brandon Beane, you talk about Coach McDermott, you talk about the Pegulas doing a great job getting us back under that cap space. And Brandon Beane talked about it. He talked about just last week. He said, we need to be careful. We have the money to spend, and he understands that. But we have to be careful we don't get ourselves in that situation again. I can't agree with him more. Okay, in order to keep winning, you can't have a bunch of money going to other teams. You have to be able to, or other players on other teams, you have to be able to pay your players. Okay, so what does this mean for the Buffalo Bills? Again, you're looking at $73.334 million in cap space. You want to look at the most recent contract that we all know about, obviously the Antonio Brown situation, which unfolded in Buffalo. Unfortunately, not the way a lot of Bills fans want it, but it unfolded the way it is. And I think now most Bills fans are okay with the fact, hey, you don't want us, we don't want you either, okay? So if Antonio Brown doesn't want to play for us, if Antonio Brown's going to tweet or Snapchat or post, Instapost or whatever it's called, fake news, fine, it was fake news. Go somewhere else. Go to Oakland. They have such a wonderful team there too, right? Or Vegas or wherever they're playing. I digress. So let's look at the Antonio Brown contract breakdown. Remember, Oakland has upped the contract a little bit, so now he's making 3 years, a max of $54.125 million. That's an average of $18 million, a little over $18 million a season, and that's the max that he can get. And that's for the top wide receiver in the NFL. He is now the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Pretty sure after free agency, he's still going to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. So again, I go back to our $73 million of cap space. So if you look at the numbers, obviously we can buy a lot, right? We can buy a lot. But I also want to mention that our draft picks, again, we have 10 draft picks this season, going to reach a little bit more than $9.5 million, okay? So if we sign all 10 of our draft picks, if we stay where we're at, right? We stay where we're at, we pick up these 10 draft picks, we sign all 10 of them, that's going to be $9.682 million. So that now brings our total down to, already, without any signing or anything like that, that brings our total down to $63,652,337. But that's still not bad, guys. That's still not bad at all. Again, we're third best in the NFL with that number. Okay, everyone has draft picks. Everyone, and you have to think about that when you're going into the draft, right? So we can't go into Wednesday, the 13th, the start of the league year, and say, okay, we have $73 million to spend. No, we really don't. In fact, you can't even really say that we have $63 million to spend, because you have to remember, you want to save some room for when injuries happen during the season, right? You don't want to just pick up Joe Schmo on the street for a league minimum if you can avoid it. You want to pick up a guy who knows what he's doing, maybe a veteran who has done it before. And the veteran minimums are a little bit higher, not much, but a little bit higher than what the minimums are for, let's say, a rookie for undrafted free agent, something like that. So we want to keep that in mind. So don't just look at that $63 million number I just gave you and say, oh, okay, we're going to spend $63 million on Wednesday or during the free agency period. Well, no, we're not. We're really not. We're going to maybe spend $50 million of that, which is still plenty. But we have to make sure we have some reserves for if/when players get injured in 2019, okay? So that is our cap space situation. Again, if you look at the cap space before the NFL draft, you're looking at $73,334,000. If you take away the estimated value of those draft picks, which is like $9.682 million, something like that, I think I just said it, $63,652,000. That's what we're looking at for cap space. So that's what Bills fans can look forward to come Wednesday as the negotiations start. Again, negotiations start today at 4 p.m. So you want to keep your phone notifications on. Again, we will notify you right here on Believers Talk if something goes down. But again, nothing can officially go down till Wednesday. We might hear things like players sign in principle, yada, 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 things like that. But what did we just see from Ian Rappaport on Thursday night, right? Oh, Bill's close to a deal with Antonio Brown. Where's Antonio right now? Not in Buffalo. So you'll hear some things, some of them true, some of them false, but we will keep you covered here on Believers Talk. So if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that subscribe button, because again, not only do we keep you covered for the Buffalo Bills, just last night posted a video about Jack Eichel being suspended for 2 games for his hit on a Colorado Avalanche player. I forget his name off the top of my head, but that's what we do. We keep you updated on all Buffalo sports. Again, March Madness right around the corner, Selection Sunday this Sunday. You're talking about the Buffalo Bills this Wednesday. Start picking up free agents like crazy, right? Hopefully we get some big names. Hopefully we're talking, maybe some Coleman from Atlanta, previous of Atlanta. You got Humphreys out there. You got some big names out there. Who can we pick up? Who are we going to get? Who's coming to Buffalo? Who's going to be a part of Bills Mafia, and who's going to be a part of this building process where, again, it looks like we're moving in the right direction. So again, thank you for joining me, Believers Talk. My name's Joe. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Leave a comment. Maybe my numbers are a little off. Maybe you want to add something to the conversation. Leave a comment below. Happily, we'll get back to you. I'll see you all soon. And I promise I will see you all soon, because things are about to get crazy. And we'll have you covered. See you soon. Until I do. Go Bills.